Hi everybody, this is Diana in LA and Cary in the UK, and we're here to talk about this week's stars of spring. Welcome to our weekly reading where we explore all things astrological. From our two different points of view in two different locations in the world, we bring to you a unique astrological perspective on what is happening right now across the globe. So here we go. We're ready to go forward. We are bursting forth to go forward. In the background, I have daffodils, tulips, every kind of flower you can imagine. Spring has sprung. As of today, it actually happened today at 1:38 a.m. Saturday morning here in Los Angeles, 8 hours later in London. And so you are probably feeling this feeling of hopefulness and lightness and spring in your step. It is a wonderful week to get ready for. It's going to be like this all week long. We're coming out. And you may be feeling more and more like getting out there, taking a walk, going outside, being in the air, breathing it in, breathing life in, feeling spirited again, feeling ready for action, feeling ready for projects, springtime things, cleaning out closets, all of that wonderful energy. And as we're moving through the changing times, as the world is literally opening up as we speak, it is blooming. We are blooming. And the beautiful, beautiful aspect that is happening all week long, Sun conjunct Venus in Aries. Today it's still in Pisces, the last degrees sitting on my moon, and it's going to go forward into Aries tomorrow and stay conjunct all week long. Sun conjunct Venus, happiness, fulfillment. Now, where that falls in your chart, where's Aries in your chart? 0 degrees, 1 degree, 2 degrees, those are the degrees we're talking about. The beginning of Aries is where it will be highlighted for you. So look at your chart. See where it falls, because that's where the action is. Cary, what are you noticing on your side of the world?
Hi everyone. Well, there's a lot of stuff happening in the UK, and the Sun conjunct Venus aspect is extremely good for the UK because in the UK's natal chart, there's Jupiter at 1 degree, let me just check that, 1 degree Leo, which means the Sun conjunct Venus trining Jupiter makes the UK feel really good about themselves. And it's the same thing every year because it's looking forward to the sunshine coming, because we don't get very much of it, of course. This whole week is going to be this conjunction, and at the end of the week, as Venus and the Sun stay together, they'll end up at 7 degrees Aries on Saturday. And the UK's rising sign is 7 degrees Libra, which is opposite. And right near the ascendant of the UK is Uranus. So this type of aspect at this time of the year is always very good for the UK because there's always very unusual things happening. So you've got the optimism of the Sun conjunct Venus, trining Jupiter, which is really nice, and really nice for anybody who's born in the beginning of their fire sign. They're going to feel the impact of this aspect. So it's a good time. It's a good week to feel good. However, in the UK's chart, Mars, I touched on this last week, is at 11 degrees Taurus, and Saturn ends up this week at 11 degrees Aquarius, squaring each other. So the other thing that's going on in the UK, and it's kind of started yesterday and today, there's a lot of demonstrations in London against COVID, and thousands of people were on the street yesterday, not that many today, but there are lots of protests coming on, which is symptomatic of the Saturn square Mars aspect. But that's kind of an aspect that's going to happen for 2 or 3 weeks. So that's the undercurrent for the UK. But this week is going to be a really, really nice week.
And what Cary is saying, it's interesting to note these things when you have a fixed chart like your natal chart, or the chart of, he's talking about the United Kingdom, which is born in 1801, that every single year the sun, when it comes to 0 degrees Aries, is always at that same place in the chart. And it really is a beautiful blooming for England and the UK, because every year the sun will trine Jupiter, right? So that happens every single year around this time. There's lots of gloomy gray countries out there, but England takes it to heart because they really do feel better. The UK wakes up, it lightens up at this time of year. How many songs are written about "Here Comes the Sun"? Right? So, and this year, it's even more because Venus is sitting with it. That doesn't happen every year. It's happening this year. It's exactly conjunct.
As the sun is conjunct exact at 6 degrees Aries on Friday and 7 degrees Aries on Saturday, so everyone's feeling good about themselves. And I love what you said about, like, here comes the sun, walking towards the sun. And that's actually what the UK are doing. And then as it comes to Sunday, the clocks change and we are now in springtime. What I realised, I've been watching Venus, the transit of Venus. Sometimes it's just sitting there. The next time it's 3 degrees forward. The next time it's 2 degrees forward. But I haven't seen it actually with the sun moving like this. So by moving like this from 28 degrees at the beginning of the week to 7 degrees conjunct, both at 6 degrees and 7 degrees on Friday and Saturday. That's
lovely.
It is lovely. It's very, very nice.
No, it's like the best thing that could happen. That's what's so exciting about this week, because it's Sun conjunct Venus, conjunct, more conjunct, staying conjunct, wrapping together like a little dance. They go through the week, and it's just like good, better. Move with that energy. Put that spring in your step and see what happens. So what do you want to make good in your life? You can feel this kind of underlying optimism, even though we're all kind of creeping out from under the bunkers, it feels like a little bit, and coming out of our hovels. We are starting to venture back out again, and people are feeling excited. And it really is true. Kids are going back to school. Friends of mine in Australia were at the movies yesterday. We just couldn't believe it. Nobody's been to the movies in a year around here. So it's opening up. It's really feeling like that. What's opening up in your life? Look at those degrees, 0 to 10 degrees, beginning of Aries. Anything that trines it, sextiles it, opposes it. We're looking for action where Aries is in your chart. That's what might be opening up for you.
The other thing that's happening at the moment is Mercury is now getting nearer Neptune. So the Mercury, planet of communication, Neptune, the planet of your dreams, they both come together. So this is a very idealistic time. And when you think about that 50% of the adult population in the UK have had their first vaccines, this is an optimistic time. We're not sure what the future's going to hold and how it's going to go forward, but it's a very idealistic time, especially when Mercury is conjunct Neptune in Pisces. So Neptune's in its own sign of Pisces with Mercury there. So it's a really quite powerful time.
That's coming at the end of this week and the following week. So that will be very exciting and inspiring. The other thing that Mercury is doing is it's sextiling Uranus. So that is also ideas, inventions. Let's try this. Let's make a company. Let's make a song. Let's write a book. There's this feeling of new ideas coming up and popping up like popcorn and like tulips coming out of the snow. That's one of my favorite visuals of when I was in Holland, looking at tulips just literally popping up. One night, nothing, just snow. The next night, boop, 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 tulips everywhere. That they just come out. They've been underneath and sort of building underneath the ground, and then they come out kind of all at once. I feel like that's the energy right now. Things are happening all at once. We're moving quick. So it's always good when things are moving more quickly to slow down inside. So the quicker things are moving around you, the more still you become. That will give you a better handle on your wheel as you navigate the new territory that we're driving into.
And the other thing that's happening is that Mars is trining Saturn. So that's a really good aspect. So where you've got that Saturn squaring the UK's Mars, right now Saturn is trining Mars up there. So the whole world is feeling this kind of good energy, but solid energy. As if we're progressing, but slow steps, because Saturn moves very slowly. These are slow steps as we go forward. But trining Mars is a fantastic aspect.
Right, Mars trine Saturn. What a time to build. What a time to finish things. What a time to begin a project that might take a long time to complete. This is, talk about stepping with your right foot forward. This is a good time to do that. Meanwhile, Saturn is still squaring Uranus. So do you see how it works? The conditions that we've been going through haven't gone away. We're still dealing with the experience of COVID, the ramifications of COVID, how it affects finances and our economy and our personal lives. That's all still continuing in the background. And there's that square still continuing. You see, it's not finished. However, there's a lot of new growth happening and new solutions. One of the best things going to come out of this is we have to restructure things, right? We've been talking about that since last year, the restructuring of things. That's a good thing. Sometimes things need to fall apart in order to be remade better, right? So whether it be the power grids in Texas, right, or the banking systems of the United States, or the United Nations that's being reformed in different ways, whatever those subjects of our infrastructures that are the streets in Los Angeles, right, and all the potholes that we have here, those things need to be repaired, right? In Los Angeles, we have systems that were built 50 years ago, 70 years ago, 100 years ago, and they're falling apart and they need to be rebuilt. Well, that's no small thing, because you have to tear up the streets and you have to get into those pipes. And so that's kind of what we're all doing around the world, around the various subjects that are up for restructuring.
There's also restructuring taking place in Europe, both politically and on the health front. This restructuring is part of the square of Uranus to Saturn, and started last year and it's coming to a peak right now. The other part of the issue with the European Union is their relationship with the UK. So that is also Saturn square Uranus. It's unpredictable. But in the UK's chart, where Saturn is squaring the UK's natal Mars right now, it's kind of alleviated a little bit because Mars is trining Saturn. So we've got Mars at Gemini, trining Saturn in Aquarius, and Saturn in Aquarius is squaring the UK's Mars. So although we're in challenging times, it doesn't feel as bad as that aspect could be.
Right, and that's a good example. The other place to look for in this week is probably Wednesday. It's a little bit of a difficult day. We've got a little T-square going on, and it's with the moon at 11 of Leo, Saturn, 10 of Aquarius, squaring Uranus, that Saturn-Uranus square, with now the moon like a slingshot, activating it a little bit more, where it comes home a little bit. So the moon in Leo, strong opinions, leadership issues, right action. We have a lot of things happening in the United States these days that have to do with power to the people, in a way. There's so many things that are coming up of right relationship between each other. And so it's an opportunity, So on Wednesday, there may be some event that occurs that is something that brings our attention together to look at something. It might be something for yourself, right? And where that moon in Leo at 11 degrees falls in your chart could be an interesting place to just check to see maybe the subject matter for you, right? Your own ideals, your own personal self, your relationship, your monies, your work, wherever that Leo is at 11 degrees is going to be part of a clue to understand what the subject is for you about this Wednesday. We are in a process right now of breaking down and rebuilding, and it's happening in every subject area in our worlds. And so take advantage, right? What do you want to restructure? What do you want to rebuild? Look at your life. What are you trying to rebuild in your own life? It might be your health, right? It might be your relationship to strengthen it, or your own sense of self, your sense of self-esteem. Whatever it is that you're rebuilding, really take advantage of these times, because we are moving forward. Things are going to start to click finally, where for once it will seem that your effort will produce a result that is closer to what you're looking for. Where last year there was so much effort and it just seemed like no matter what we did, it would kind of crumble beneath our fingers. And that was because we get to learn these lessons of this time, to look at those systems in our life and re-look at those systems in our life to see if they're healthy, if they're functioning well.
I mean, really, the whole of this week, wherever you are in the world, is going to have a really nice vibe to it. You know, with all these trines, conjunctions, sextiles going on, it's a really positive time. Although with the Mercury conjunct Neptune, it sometimes doesn't feel like that, but it's a very idealistic time, and it's a time of pushing barriers forward, both on the health front, on the science front, on the environment front, and on the political front. So we've kind of had that earthquake last year where these planets are all together causing that tremendous challenge. And this year, it's unexpected challenges coming out of nowhere, which is the Saturn square Uranus. But it's a lot more positive than last year. We've got through last year.
I love Mercury conjunct Neptune. That is one of my favorite aspects. That's coming up at the end of the week, like we talked about earlier, and all next week too. That's the time of imagination, right? Dreaming, visualizing, those kinds of things that we've been talking about last week too. That even more, it starts to be more once upon a time. You know, we start to recreate our reality by our imagination. Mercury conjunct Neptune in Pisces. It's dreamy. It's the storyteller. What is the new story you want to say and see as your life? So this is a good place to leave it for now, I think. We hope you have a wonderful week. It is a beautiful one. Really take advantage of the big moving energies that are happening right now. We wish you well, and if you're enjoying these broadcasts, we hope that you will share, like, subscribe, and comment. We always love to hear from you.
Take care, everybody. Have a safe week and have a lovely week.